trader. Okay, I have got something for you. So in this journey, it's always about refining that edge, refining that skill set. And an area that I feel I've been lacking in is being able to break down the pieces of the model and then have some sort of trackability that doesn't require me to then take time to put every single entry down and then calculate what could have been or what should have been, and also sticking to a realistic view of what is or what was. And then I found this tool, which is called FXReplay, and they are a web-based suite software set of journal analytical horsepower, and I thought it was really cool. So I want to share with you the challenge is over the past few days, let's call it into the past month, the Asia model has been the thing I'm focusing on. And every now and again, we'll get into these areas of tight consolidation for a period of time. I wanted to be able to kind of use that model and test out what's a realistic expectation. And I wanted to try and replicate the scenario that we have now and not be so close to the price action where I could maybe memorize it or remember what went on. So I know right now Asia is staying flat. Bank of Japan is still at a -1, but Australia has been increasing their interest rate. So I took a look. When was the last time something like this happened? Well, this is the Japan interest rate, and I'm using Trading Economics as the website. And they've been flat, man. Like they've stayed zero or sub-zero from just about early 2012, call it 2011. Last time JPY had any sort of interest rate bump was back in the 2008 crash. AUD, on the other hand, looking back, they've gone from the 2020s suppressing their interest rate to zero, and they've been really ramping their interest rate back up to ease their economy. Now, Forex pairs always need to take an eye or keep an eye on interest rate. So when was the last time that AUD was up at 4%? Well, funnily enough, back in just about 2011, they were around that 4% mark, and they've even been higher. So this phenomena, this that's going on with AUD JPY right now, is less about the JPY pair, or less about the JPY futures, because that's been flat since 2011, and a lot more to do with what's going on in AUD. So I wanted to take that idea, go to TradingView, and then look for a time when that were the macroeconomics were similar, so I can test this model and then see if I can gather any data. So as you probably would do, you go to TradingView, want to go back to January 2011, and unavailable. You can only go 5-minute bar here, or you have to do the replay trick where you take the last bar, let it load up data, scroll all the way over, take the next last bar, let it load up data. Yeah, it can take forever. I mean, we're still only in 2023, and the last available bar now is May. Ugh. So then I found this tool, FXReplay. And FXReplay gives you the opportunity to build a dashboard of the pair you'd like to trade, and then I can actually go back to January 2011. And so when I load it up, the cool thing is that it replicates a TradingView chart. So here's all the data I've been backtesting using the exact same model, January 2011, and I'll take the same time frame, everything that I need, and it will track it for me. It will take everything I need and track it for me. And so on this dashboard, I can run analytics on AUD JPY for 2011 and see that my model really takes some hits around this time. So when and price, as you saw, was kind of in that same tight consolidation. So if I go back up to that and look at the chart, on a 4-hour time frame, it's doing the same type of consolidation moves that was happening before, and I can take that analytics and see that it struggles. This model just doesn't do very well. I can also see some cool stuff like the average RR on a trade, the maximum that I did, something called the max ideal, like if I left a trade to run, everything between where price had a swing point and reversed against the position. But I could also see that the ideal RR versus my average RR in trades that were profitable, could have been profitable, or ideally profitable is somewhere between 1.5 and 3.4. Take the max out, take the maxes out, but even in that range, that's kind of saying don't shoot for the moon during these times of consolidation. Seems obvious, but you kind of have to look at it from the standpoint of you don't know exactly when it's going to consolidate without looking at a higher time frame, without considering the macroeconomics, hence looking at the interest rates. The other cool thing with this is I can then break down my performance by day. I can see when market conditions are like this, when am I more likely to be profitable. I can also see some cool stuff like when was the trade taken, Asia, versus when is the trade likely to hit in profit. I'm more likely to leave this trade running for 2 hours or more and allow it to hit in London versus trying to collapse the whole thing in Asia by 2 a.m. So some really cool stuff here. So I've been testing this out for a bit. I also went and created a YouTube 2022 strategy. Did the same idea, went into last year, September, since we're going into September. And I can look at the analytics for how this model does in a September month. And the model itself is a strong model during this time, and it's only been 27 trades over how many days? Total trades 27 over 25 days. So I can see all the breakdowns. I don't have to track it, I don't have to enter it, I don't have to put anything in. It's kind of like a MyFX book, but a lot cooler because it's got the integration of an actual trading view interface. And same thing, I can break down when is this model more than likely profitable. The other thing too, so like check this out. If I go in and I want to play the Asia model, right? I let this thing load up. I hide all of this. I can hide the navigation bar so I can get as full screen as possible. I can pull up an economic calendar. It can tell me how to place an order. It's got a whack ton of indicators. No, and I don't mean like regular indicators. So here's a price, by the way, and I do have a discount code which I'll drop in the description for anybody who wants to try this out. But it also will do specifically ICT indicators, silver bullet, order blocks. Anybody who was messing around with DR, IDR, MentFX structure is in here. FVG indicators 50%. I mean, this thing and more, let's just say. So I'm going to do a few more tests and trials on this. I wanted to get this out there because I think this is definitely one of the strongest replay formats I've used. The last thing I'll say that I really like about it is the accountability. So with this, I can't just put a position on in the past and that's not what I want to do. Short. And just say that would have been my trade. In order for the stats to collect, I have to actually put the trade on, and I can't set a trade. So let's say I want to place this order and I want to do it as a limit, and I want to do it as a limit after price is moving to try and get like the best entry. It won't let you do a limit order if price is not below. So that accountability, a sell limit can only be placed at a price higher. That accountability forces you to like, how would you actually enter this trade? So unlike TradingView's backtesting or replay, you can't just set your trade here and hope to get a better price at immediately where price is. You either have to take it at market, let it be the real thing, or let price actually go. And there's no rewind. So if you miss that trade, you miss that setup, you've just missed it. You can go to the next thing. There's some other really cool tools here. So for example, let's say that you've got a time-based model. You can set the timings to just go to the next Asia session. So instead of trying to scrub forward, maybe going too far, you can do that. And you can even set the specific times, like when do you want your Asia session to start? When do you want your silver bullet timing to start? So some really cool stuff in this FXReplay website is FXReplay.com. And I'll drop a discount code in here for anybody who wants to try it out. Here again is the normal pricing. I've got a 15% discount code, which I'm happy to share. TraderLaz15, TraderLaz15, and try it out. I'd love to hear back if anybody else uses it.